Video number 4. In video number 4, we are going to find the mean and standard deviation of a set of data using the spreadsheet in Libre Office. So let's go to our Libre Office. This is the stuff we were working on before, and making a histogram, what I want to do is I want to copy my data, and I'm going to copy it into a new sheet. So you'll see this little plus symbol down here. We are in sheet 1. I'm going to copy it over to sheet 2, paste my data, Control V, and there. So now my data have appeared in a new spot. So I actually don't want these in column A. So I could undo what I did and then try to do it in column B, but I'm going to actually do this a different way. I am going to right-click on column A, and then I'm going to choose Insert Columns Left. So I right-click on column A, and then I insert columns left. And that has now added a new column. Why do I want to do that? I want to do that because I want to be able to type things that I'm going to try to do. I'm going to try to calculate a sum. I'm going to try to calculate a count. And then I'm going to try to calculate an average or a mean. Now hold on a second. I'm just going to bring some formulas over here. All right. So I have brought in the formulas to remind me how to calculate mean, or average, and standard deviation. So to calculate the mean, what I need is I need to sum all my values from 1 to n, and then divide them by the number of values. So how do we do that? Well, we can sum by clicking on the cell where I want to enter my sum, hit equals, type in sum, open some brackets, and then choose all the data that I want to sum. So click on the top, shift click on the bottom, close the parentheses, and that gives me the sum of all my points, or all my values there. I want to count. This is actually going to be similar to the count if, or count IFS, that we looked at before, but we're just going to count without any conditions, so it's just count. And then I'm going to select all my data again, and now I've counted. So I have 25 values, which if I go from 2 to 26, that makes sense, that's 25. And now what I want to do is I want to divide the count, the total sum, by the count, right? The total sum over here by the count, n. So I say equals, I choose to divide 1613.2 divided by 25, and I get 64.528. Now what I would like to do is I would like to find the standard deviation. So if I look at the formula for standard deviation, I can see that the first thing I need to do is figure out the difference between the average value, or the mean, and each of the points. So I'm going to make a new column up here called difference, and I'm going to say equals. I'm going to go down and choose my average, and then I'm going to subtract from that the value of the point in the same row. Okay, so 64.528 minus 70.8 gives me minus 6.272. Now if I want to do that same calculation for each one, and I try to fill down, so I grab that little corner and I fill down like that, what you'll see is I'm not actually getting the right values anymore. Now the reason is because here you can see B30, which is where the average is, the cell that the average is in is down here at B30, minus B2, but if I go to the next cell, I see it's actually going B31 minus B3. So I want that B30, which is where the average is, to stay the same. So to do that, I'm going to put a $ in front of the 30. That locks the 30 so that when I do my fill down, that 30 doesn't change, but my 2 still changes. So I'm going to show you how that works. I go here, and I'm going to go highlight all of these, and I hit Control. Another way to fill down is to hit Control D, and that will take whatever's in the top cell and then basically copy it through all the rest. And now you can see that these values make a lot more sense, right? The mean is 64.5. This value over here is 64.2, and so the difference between those two is 0.328. Lovely. So that works all the way down to the bottom. Now I'm going to just move these equations out of the way, and I'm going to put difference squared, because you can see here I want to get the difference squared before I sum them. And remember, this was basically so that they're all positive. So diff, oops, up here, diff squared, and this is where we go equal to that cell, to the power of 2, and so that is that value squared. Another way we can square something if we really wanted to is we could actually say d2 times d2, and that would do the same thing. So either of those methods will work for squaring something. And then I'm going to do the fill down again, but I'm going to do it a different way this time. I'm going to copy that cell. I'm going to choose that whole range where I want to copy it into, and then I'm going to paste it, Control V. And yep, I do want to overwrite the data, and I get the same thing as filling down, just another different method. So there's my difference squared. And now if I look here, the thing I want to do is I want to sum all my difference squareds. So I'm going to go and I'm going to calculate a sum again. And so equal sum. And then I go and I choose all these values. So now I have the sum of the squares of my difference. And now I'm going to want to divide this by n minus 1. So that's actually going to be count minus 1. So I'm going to go count minus 1, and then count all my values that I want. And then I subtract 1. And I should get 1 less than I had on the other one. So over here I had 25, over here I had 24. Looks like I did that right. Finally, what we're going to want to do is actually find the standard deviation. And so you can see that I want to take my sum of my different squareds, which is here, divide it by n minus 1, which is here, and then take the square root of all of that. So to do the square root, you say equals sqrt square root, open your brackets, and then I'm going to take this value and divide it by this value. And yay, there's my standard deviation, 10.65. Now there's actually an easier way to do it. So that is the kind of the long way. Now let's do the easy way. So the easy way, here, we'll go easy way. Let's move this out of the way again. A little more. Easy way, easy way. We're going to find our average, and we're going to find our standard deviation, the easy way. So to do this the easy way, you just say equals average, and you're going to take the average of all your values. Okay, 64.528, 64.528. Good, did that right. Second, to find the standard deviation, you say equals standard stdev, standard st deviation. Open your brackets, again choose all your values, close your parentheses, and we get 10.65, 10.65. All right, so now we can calculate average and standard deviation two different ways, which you're going to want to show that you can do when you submit your spreadsheet. So the last little piece on the next video will remind you what needs to be on your spreadsheet and how to submit it.